Greetings, my fellow members of the dark side. Darth Ben here. And you know what, folks? I've done it. I've finally seen the first half of Stardust Crusaders. And it's time to talk about part 1. Even though I'm gonna talk about Stardust Crusaders and the future parts of JoJo in separate videos now. Meaning one half per month. And that is my new rule. Anyways, let's get down to business. Now, Stardust Crusaders would introduce a common element that would mainly be, well, something that will be in all future parts from now on. And that is a stand. Mainly it's like a spiritual manifestation of your power in that, but they're pretty cool. Even though they have supernatural abilities, and these first few stands in JoJo, they're named after tarot cards and Egyptian gods. The next few stands will be named after music. But I'll get to those once we head into the future parts. Anyways, let's talk about the main characters now. First up, we have to talk about our protagonist, Jotaro Kujo. And yep, the same Jotaro Kujo that will appear from this part all the way up to Stone Ocean. And again, I don't know why I'm talking about Stone Ocean, well, mentioning it, even though Jotaro Kujo has just been killed off in the anime adaptation. Jotaro is voiced by Matthew Mercer in the English dub. Daisuke Ono if you have been watching the Japanese dub. And again, I like, well, they do have some pretty impressive voice work, I can give them that. And if you want to know what his main stand is, it's called Star Platinum. That's right, Star Platinum. And it's been in every JoJo series up to Stone Ocean. Alright. Now it's time to talk about one of the recurring characters from the last part, Joseph Joestar. In this season, he's voiced by, who voiced him? Oh yeah, I remember. He's voiced by Richard Epcar, who back in my day was the voice of Itimon in Digimon Adventure. And did a lot of roles in old school Power Rangers. And trust me, I'm not kidding about that one. Anyways, I think he did pretty well voicing Joseph in this age. And Joseph's stand is now called Hermit Purple. It's not a physical manifestation, but it acts like, let's just say Indiana Jones had a supernatural whip. That's all I'm going to say about it. But before I move on to the next character, I would like to point out some praise from the late Unsho Ishizuka. For those who don't know Unsho Ishizuka, he was the original Japanese voice for Joseph Joestar in the Japanese version of Stardust Crusaders. And I really love his English. Seriously, I like how he says lines like, "Oh no!" and "Oh my god!" And basically, I like to get some of my favorite English mentions like "son of a beach" and my most favorite, "Horace hat." Yeah, those English lines really make me laugh. Anyways, let's talk about our next character, Mohammed Abdo. This guy is voiced by Kenta Miyake in the Japanese version, but I'm not sure who voices him in the English version. Maybe some actor best known for being in Danganronpa. I don't know, I'll find out who he is once I get into part 2. Anyways, his stand is called Magician's Red, and yeah, it's basically a bird humanoid that shoots fire. And that's pretty interesting. Also, he's a fortune teller, and he didn't appear in most of the storylines, even though he would be temporarily taken out of episode 10 and then would reappear in episode 22. So yeah, he's a pretty cool, interesting character. And then we come to our fourth main character in this storyline, and that is Noriaki Kakyoin. Well, known fact, the English dub voice actor for Kakyoin is Kyle Hebert. Yep, the same actor who is also the narrator of Dragon Ball Z. Hell, Sean still would know that because he's a big Dragon Ball Z fanatic. Anyways, Noriaki Kakyoin's stand is Hierophant Green, meaning it's I don't know, kind of long than that, but it has a most powerful attack. Emerald Splash! Yeah, it's a powerful attack. Hang on, let me fix my helmet a bit. Oh yeah, anyways, and our last main character to talk about before I move on to some of the minor villains is Jean-Pierre Polnareff. He's voiced by Doug Erholtz in the English dub, and I know him for Digimon as well. Mainly, he was the original voice of older TK before Johnny Young Bosch. Anyways, his stand is called Silver Chariot, and trust me, it has a hard, cool, swashbuckling blade. And also, Jean-Pierre Polnareff is a Frenchman by his name, and let's just say he's going to appear in that later part once I get into part 5 in a few months. Okay, now that I've talked about all the main characters, most of the JoJo villains in this part, they're all named after some interesting music figures. Seriously, I mean, if you get down to it, I don't mind the dub names, but I've heard their Japanese names, and they're pretty creative. Seriously, Greyfly, Whole Horse, ZZ, Rubber Soul, let's see, oh yeah, J Gale, Enya the Hag, and there's also the likes of Midler, Cameo, Forever, and there's also Manish Boy. And don't worry, there's one character I haven't forgot about, even though he would be the main antagonist for this part. And that is Dio. And he's reprised by Patrick Seitz, and the Japanese voice actor for Sartorius in the Japanese version. Now, after his unfortunate absence after part 1, he's now re-emerged and he's now attached onto Jonathan Joestar's body. But don't worry, he will be defeated in a few months. Even though I'm gonna see the second half of Stardust Crusaders once I see it next Friday. But still, the first part of Stardust Crusaders is pretty good. I mean, I am definitely looking forward to the second half once I get into the other 24 episodes. And once I've finished with that in February, I am so getting into the other parts like Diamonds Unbreakable, Vento Oreo, and Stone Ocean. Either way, if you haven't seen this part, I would highly recommend it. Even if you need to watch the previous parts first, like Vance and Blood and Battle Tendency. Either way, that's all I've got for today. I'm Darth Ben. See you in the next video, my fellow members of the dark side.